Hey guys, how are you all doing today? My name is Franchise Fanatic and welcome back to the channel. And today we have you guys another movie review, and today we are tackling the last Marvel movie, or specifically the last X-Men Marvel movie, Dark Phoenix. Now, before I get into this review, I do want to tell you guys that I had to look at what people were saying. I know I don't like to do that, and I really do not like to do that. I mean, this is something I'd rather not do for any movie. I like to go in completely clean-slated. However, after hearing that it bombed big time, I was like, ooh, what's it getting? And it's at like a 20-some%. I mean, it's pretty bad. Now, Hellboy, the 2019 reboot of Hellboy, got like I don't know, like an 8 or 13. And I absolutely loved Hellboy. I thought it was a great movie. I don't know what I gave it. I think I gave it like an A- or a B+. Go watch my review if you haven't seen it. But yeah, I enjoy. I don't know. See, it's weird. You really do have to only trust yourself, because when everyone in the world says that Dark Phoenix sucked, and it has from watching other reviews, again, I don't like doing that either, but I just had to, just to get a feel, you know. It was terrible editing, terrible directing, terrible CGI, terrible plot, terrible execution, terrible everything. And I'm like, well, if everyone hates it, maybe it isn't good. I'm not going to say it isn't until I see it. And today I saw it. And I have to tell you guys, I don't know what the hell these people are doing. It's a great movie. I don't know what people are talking about. And I get it. It's your opinion. You can have a different opinion. However, when so many people say it's trash, and then I come out saying nothing's wrong with it. Now, there are a few things wrong with it, but let's just play it by ear. So that's my quick little story. I don't like to look at reviews, but I had to, and I have to disagree with them on this one. I really enjoyed Dark Phoenix. Now, yes, this is the last X-Men film that Fox has in the franchise before moving on to Disney. Now, there is the New Mutants, which technically is an X-Men lore film, kind of like Deadpool. However, I don't think New Mutants is like a sequel to Dark Phoenix. I don't even know if that movie's even getting made anymore. We got a trailer, I think, 2 years ago, and it's still in development hell as far as I'm concerned. Hopefully it is not. Hopefully we'll get a new trailer soon, because it looked really good from the original trailer. So, again, that still is a Fox film, and I don't know what they're doing with that. However, this is the last X-Men movie that, Fox has put out before Disney now takes over. And I think I'm not going to spoil anything, but I was very satisfied with how this movie ended. I thought it had a really nice ending. There's one tiny little thing that happens in the end, and I was just like, I was so happy that they did it, because I'm a huge comic reader. I don't read every comic, but I do read a lot of comics, and the biggest thing between these two characters happens in the comics a lot, and they did it in the end, and I was like, thank you. Other than that, I thought it had a really good ending to the whole. Geez, X-Men came out in 2000. That's like 19 years ago. Quick math. That's crazy. Jesus, man. But yeah, I mean, this is, I believe, also the first X-Men movie that did not have Wolverine Logan in it. Spoiler alert, Logan's dead. However, this movie takes place in, I believe, 1992, so he's still alive. He's AWOL at this point, because the whole X-Men universe timeline, as Deadpool said, really got fucked up, and it really did. I mean, that's literally coming from the Merc with a mouth. It got totally effed up with regard to complex elements. You know what I mean? I mean, I can follow it pretty well, but explaining it to other people is kind of a pain in the butt. So essentially, if you watched X-Men Days of Future Past, X-Men 3 The Last Stand, and a bunch of other movies in the X-Men world don't even really happen. So you're probably thinking, wait a minute, we already had Jean Grey turn evil and psycho into the Dark Phoenix in X-Men 3 The Last Stand. Well, yes, but that movie didn't really happen. It kind of got erased, the timeline, all that. So this is the correct timeline now because of what they did in Days of Future Past and all that jazz. It's a big thing. But yeah, so this movie is like for fans, it's the better version. You know what I mean? Even though for some reason it's the worst version. Now, I enjoyed X-Men Last Stand, X-Men 3. I thought it was fine. I don't love it, but I mean, it's not bad. X-Men Origins Wolverine, not bad movie. Yeah, they effed up Deadpool big time, but other than that, it's not that bad of a movie. I thought it was pretty fun. It's a good movie to watch. I enjoy it. So I enjoy every single X-Men movie. I mean, they're not all perfect. There's only a few I give A+ to, but they're little things. I'm not going to give them all Fs. And Dark Phoenix certainly is a really good movie. I don't know where anyone's coming from with all this it sucks thing. Again, that's your opinion, but I'm a huge X-Men nerd, so maybe that's why I love it. But going into this movie, I mean, the plot, you have, Jean Grey, who is very powerful as herself. But then, of course, if you read the comics and you saw the trailer, you know that she goes into and absorbs the Phoenix power, and essentially just turns, crazy like the kid from Brightburn. But she's a girl, and it's not as gory. But no, I mean, this is it's a very straightforward movie. I mean, you have Jean Grey goes into space, gets absorbed by the Phoenix power, and she kills people, and stuff happens. And then you also have Jessica Chastain's character, who I believe is Vux, with a V. She is like an alien, and it's a whole thing. So the real bad guy in this movie, Vux, is not really a good villain. I think it's one of the worst villains in a Marvel movie. Is that a huge negative? No, but she didn't really add a whole lot. She was just like, oh, this Phoenix power destroyed my home, so I'm gonna kill you. You know what I mean? It's classic comic book stuff when you think about it. If you played Rage 2, the new open world first person shooter game, that plot is basically the plot of this movie. There's a very generic bad guy, but it somehow still manages to work and be clever and be fun. I'm not saying that Vux is the best character ever. I'm saying she's actually the worst villain in any Marvel movie I've ever seen, probably. Her motives they're very straightforward. You don't really care. Yeah, she's cool in a fight scene, and your little mutants are cool, her little buddies, alien friends, but I don't know. For me, the bad guy didn't really stick. It was fun to watch, but it wasn't anything memorable like Thanos or Loki or even, I don't know, the freaking Yellow Jacket from Ant-Man even. I don't know. But again, yeah, it is a very straightforward plot. She goes crazy, and then you have this kind of alternate plot with Vux, Jessica Chastain's character, trying to absorb that. So it's simple, but it works. So I really don't have any negatives with the plot. If you read the comic, there's probably a few things that the comic does differently or they add on to. But I mean, this is only a 2-hour-some movie, so it worked. Going into CGI, every Marvel movie I think does not have good CGI. Let me go back a bit. It has good CGI. But it doesn't have excellent CGI. In my opinion, the only Marvel movie that has flawless CGI is Infinity War and Endgame. Every other Marvel movie has great CGI, but there are some moments where they dip in quality where you go, oh, that don't look good, or that doesn't look good. And I can spend days talking about it. And I'm not saying the CGI in Marvel movies are bad. It's just that you can tell something is CGI in every movie in at least 1 or 2 moments. And this movie does have 1 or 2 moments where you look at it and you go, okay, that looks amazing. Jean Grey with all the Phoenix power and all that, I mean, it looks great. All the special effects and the Cyborg's laser beam looks great. But then there's some moments where, like, a train comes out of the sewer. You'll know what I see when you see it. And it just looks like horse poop. And you're like, really? Why? Like, I can never understand how a comic book movie can look so good in one regard, but then look so bad in another. So, again, CGI is not bad, like everyone's saying. It's fine. It's not like Fantastic Four or Four Stick bad at all. It's fairly standard stuff for a Marvel movie, especially an X-Men movie. There are a few moments though where it dips. So yeah, plot's pretty good. CGI is pretty good for the most part. The acting is phenomenal. Again, I think every superhero movie, modern superhero movie has pitch perfect acting. Jean Grey carries the movie with her performance. Sophie Turner does a great job, even though she's crying about her jewel or whatever the hell that was. Everyone else does a great job. Cyborg, Professor X, Magneto, Nightcrawler, Mystique, everyone does a great job. Now, there are some character deaths in this movie, which of course I'm not going to tell you, that'd be a dick move. However, go see the movie. If you read the comic, if you know, probably if you can watch a trailer, you'll know what I'm talking about. But it is shocking. It is, this movie is very dark. It doesn't really have that much for levity. It's very, very serious. There really aren't that, I can only think of like maybe 1 or 2 little scenes that had me giggle a little bit or chuckle. Every Marvel movie has to have a little bit of levity because that's what they are. They're not as dark as DC, as Deadpool put it in Deadpool 2. However, this is a very dark film, and it goes with the thing, Dark Phoenix. It's a Dark Phoenix, and it's a dark movie. But it works, because this is the last movie in the X-Men world. It surprisingly does work, and it brings everything to a close pretty well, in my opinion. I don't really have that many negatives. I would have to say that maybe the CGI could be better, like I said. The villain isn't the best, but other than that, I mean, I had a really, really good time with Dark Phoenix. There were like no one in the theater. There were like 2 other people, and you gotta feel bad for a movie, even if you hate the movie. You do kind of have to feel bad that at least people working on this movie tried, and the movie made 0 money essentially. Everyone hates it. I seem like I'm the only person that actually enjoyed Dark Phoenix. I really enjoyed it. Now, comparing X-Men 3 The Last Stand to Dark Phoenix, again, I'm not going to do that for the review, but let's just pretend I'm doing that. If I were to do that, I would say Dark Phoenix is a much better executed film for the Dark Phoenix plot in the comics as far as adapting it. However, I also think that Dark Phoenix is a better movie in terms of quality. Of course, it's newer, but, you can have an old superhero movie look like crap compared to an old one. We've had that before. So, all in all I'm saying is, if you're worried about seeing this movie because of everyone hating it, don't be. Don't trust me either. I mean, you might hate it. Who knows? You might love it like me. I'm not entirely sure. Thank you for watching the review. Hopefully, again, go see Dark Phoenix. That's my advice to you. Don't trust anyone. Go watch it for yourself, and then decide if you hate it without anyone telling you in the background. You know, no static, it's bad, or it's great. You know what I mean? However, I am one of the rare people that's saying I really love Dark Phoenix. Yeah, there's a few negatives about that, but other than that, it's not that bad of a movie. In fact, it's a really good movie. For people saying it's the worst X-Men film ever, I'd have to disagree. I think that X-Men Origins Wolverine and X-Men 3 The Last Stand are far worse, and those movies aren't even bad in my opinion. They're just good. You know, so this movie, to be better than X-Men 3 and Wolverine, definitely, it's up there. You know, it's a really good movie. That's all I'm going to say. I enjoyed it. I'm going to give Dark Phoenix an A-. I really enjoyed it. I can't wait to hopefully get it on Blu-ray and then unbox it for you guys. Tell me a comment in the comment section below if you guys saw Dark Phoenix and what you thought of the entirety of the Fox X-Men world coming to a close with this movie. Were you satisfied? Were you not satisfied? What did you think? And what did better, X-Men 3 The Last Stand in your opinion, or Dark Phoenix in terms of the whole Dark Phoenix storyline? So thank you guys. Make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon for more awesome reviews, and we'll see you guys in the next video.